Hi, I think this is going to be our next project to do. It's a 1 horsepower Mogul. It's hard to pick it up, but I found out it's a 1916. Overall, it's not in too bad shape. Someone gave it just a paint job, so I'm always a little skeptical what's underneath the paint job, but I was hoping to find some original paint on here, but we'll see. From what I see, everything almost there. There's just a couple things not there. There's a knob here, the oiler. Got the, I believe, the right magneto. Be the brass body. The igniter, the trip, that's all there. Has a pulley. So, before I run these things, I kind of tend to take them apart, but I have no idea what's under these things, and I really don't want to destroy it. For the extra couple of days, not going to hurt me. I think we've had this thing for a while. I think I believe, if I'm correct, my brother and his wife picked this up somewhere, and I somehow horse traded for this engine. But he knows I like Moguls. I got a couple of them, and getting older, so I like my smaller engines. They're easier to make. I think I'll make. Such a shame that someone cut the skids shorter, but I think I'll make this one into a wheelbarrow cart. Same as my little 1 horsepower Famous. I think this one I'll make into a wheelbarrow cart too. But I have a video coming up on that one too. I've noticed already there's pulley just sitting there. And I'm pretty sure I remember him saying there was a gib key that was loose in the flywheel. I'll find that out which one. But I'll shut the camera down and you guys can watch me tear this thing apart and find out what all the bad news is underneath it. Okay, I've got it partially stripped already. I got the flywheels off. Some of the valve rock around, the igniters off, and some of the governor. Problem is I've got to pull that gib key, and that's gonna maybe fight with me, I think. But I might have forgotten to say, this is a throttle governor. And you can always see on the throttle governor there's a lot more components on than as a hit and miss. There's not much on a hit and miss engine, pretty simple compared to a throttle governor. But I'll keep tackling away at it. And so far everything's been pretty good. I can't, not a basket case so far. So, it's down and we'll keep knocking away at it. I kind of forgot to press record when I took this apart, but oh well. I'll make it up when I put it back together. I know for kicking a little bit longer, kicking it apart, I've never taken one of these little Moguls apart. This is the first time. I've bored a couple of these cylinders out for people, and I'm positive we have a pattern for making new pistons for this. We did it on a 3D printer, so I'm pretty sure we still have that. I might put a new piston in this one. I might just take a cut out of that just to chew the bore up, and that way put a new piston in and don't have to worry. I can see again someone's there's nothing wrong putting double ringed up like this, but there's a lot of side play motion, and that's where you lose your compression. Yeah, even the last one there. So either if I do decide to use that piston, I gotta put different rings in it, or just get a piston made up and recast and just machine it. And no big deal. I plan to keep this one for myself too. I don't plan selling this one anytime soon. But it's coming apart not too bad. It'll be a nice little engine when it's done. Alright, back at working at this little one horse Mogul throttle governor. I kind of forgot to record this. I should have done this. A lot of times gib keys are a pain in my butt to get out. So all I did was just welded, I think this is what, 9/16 rod or 5/8, I'm not sure. But just welded it onto the gib key, and I had that in there just like that. And then I just tightened the nut up, and yeah, pulled the gib key out. No big deal to cut that off and regrind it and make the gib key look like what it did before. So now I can, oh, there goes the cam. The cam lobe, that's off. Here's the centric. And then I can get to the other bolts to get the fuel pump off. And I have access to get, maybe not, the cam out. I guess or the timing gear out. I guess if I get these two bolts, that'll allow me to get everything apart. So I'll won't bother recording undoing those two bolts. So I'll take that apart, and then to the cleaning stage. I think I'm just going to lightly just take off the gray paint. There's still some original green paint under there. And just easier. I'll see if I can, and I found a little bit of factory stucco on the hopper, so I can't remember if I said that in the last video, but I'm going to try to keep this all original, whatever paint underneath. But Okay, on the little 1 horsepower Mogul, here's the fuel pump. Surprised it's not broken. A lot of times they're broken across here, but this one appears to be in pretty good shape. And I'll probably get a new rod. This one's a little bit worn out. It's got some wear right up in here, so I know I have brass stock here, just 5/16, and should be a little brass washer, kind of a, you always want that little taper facing inside to push the, not too sure the name of it right now, but there's a bunch of packing. And make sure you got the right size too, because there's several different sizes. Like I said, this one probably could have been in good shape, but I've got new welt in here for it. It's not a big deal. And that way I can clean that all up. And should be able to kick this guy off. I had to break it loose, so I already did that. And there should be a check ball in there. There you go. There's that little check ball. That's part of your priming system to keep your fuel up so it doesn't keep falling, the gas keep going back in the tank. Just a little check ball. And I'm not too sure. I think that's 1/4 inch. I'm not sure. I don't even know what I do with my calipers. Oh, here they are. Yep, 1/4 inch. What I thought. So the next I will clean this up, and then you guys can watch me put it back together. Well, today I'm back working on this little 1 horse Mogul. I did this off camera. I decided to make, I think this is the handle for the fuel pump. I've already taken it apart. I cleaned up the fuel pump, pulled the packing out. This was the old packing in it, but you know, pretty bad shape. So I did not know what size of packing, so I went to my other brother's place, and he's got a whole pile of different size packing. But I figured out, I think the 1/4 inch packing works good. I'll explain to you that in a bit. But right now, this fuel pump handle, it had a lot of wear. You can see it's worn. There's divots in it. I think that's from the cam riding up on here. I'm not too sure, but I think so. But it's worn out. So, and I didn't feel like go find a 7/16 square stock. So I just I have a mill here. I'll just start on that and make myself a 7/16 square stock, and then I'll turn this down to whatever size that this is. Because this is badly worn. You can see it's just about to go, the pin's just about to go through there. And no big deal to duplicate that. And the pin's in pretty bad shape. Got wear. What do you expect? It's old. 100 years old. And I got this one is 5/16, so that'll be the new plunger for the fuel pump. The old one, it's still salvageable, but it's got some wear in it, so forget it. I'll just put a new one in. And a little 1/4 inch check ball, which goes in the bottom of the fuel pump. But when I put the fuel pump together, I will show that on camera. So if anybody's curious about how it works, at least you'll get to see how it works, or how you put it together, and I'll show you step by step. But I'm just gonna go chuck this in the lathe, cut this down to whatever size, finish this up. But I won't bother showing that. It's just simple stuff on the lathe. So, and then we can go into the next step. Okay, yeah, about an hour later, I made a new gas pump push rod. I guess that's what we'll call it. So now it's all, when I install it, that's where it'll go. Because this guy, you can see how being worn, no big deal. And then the next, we finished up. The next thing I'm going to do is fuel pump. I haven't cut my new piece yet, but you got to put packing in. Roll it. And this is the way how I kind of calculate which size of packing to use, because there's many different sizes. I think this is just a little under a 1/4 inch. This is what, 3/16. I'm not too sure what that one might be, an 1/8. But all I did was I found out what roughly what my bore is, and the size of your piston or your shaft that goes in there, and I came up with basically just a little under a 1/4 inch for packing. If you understand that, that's the only way I kind of figured it out for myself. So, but I'll get things ready and I'll set up the camera and you can see how I repack this. Okay, I cut myself a new rod for the fuel pump. I don't know if it's supposed to be steel or brass, but this is what was in when I took it apart. So I'm going to go that way. So I did the correct length. I pretty much copied everything off the old one, and it fits in the pump just fine. There's no binding, not too loose, so it should be good. And another thing, when I cut my packing, you always want to make sure this end here and your other end kind of be in line, so that way when you squish it, it'll always be kind of equal. That way it's got kind of a straight pressure on it when this little tapered washer, I don't know the correct word for some of this stuff, but I'll show you at least how I can put it together. Now, so when I hook my, well, I gotta take the plunger back out, but then the spring, I think there's a cap that goes on here, but the spring, then that always put pressure down onto that tapered washer. And also, I gotta oil this up too. I haven't done that, but I haven't decided if I'm going to paint this engine or what, but I'm not finding any, I don't know, not too much original paint. We'll see. But, so that's for that. And there's a, I believe it's like a 1/4 inch check ball that goes in here, but I'll show you that when we put this back together. And I'm not too sure if I'm going to put a clutch pulley on this one. I can always adapt these. Clutch pulleys are not that hard to do. And if I have a couple of these kicking around. But I haven't decided what I'm going to if I'm going to put that on or not. I do, between my brothers and I, we do have a couple chip hammers. And I always wanted to run a chip hammer with a station engine. So, and that's my main goal for next year to do. So, but I don't think this guy will have enough power, so I might get another engine, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to put this clutch pulley on, but we'll find out. Okay, I have no idea what the next thing we're going to do, but as soon as I figure that out, I'll start recording that. Okay, I pulled the Mogul 1 horsepower, I think it's called an air horn. I just gave it a rough cleanup. I'm not finding any original paint on it, just except for that gray stuff, gray paint. But if anybody's curious what's inside of it, just a spring, I guess kind of an air baffle, and the back cover. But to make sure your needle and sheet is sheeting properly, all I do is take a black marker and then just screw it in. Just touch it, not crazy hard, but and as you can see, I've got a very nice sheet here. So I don't have to worry about regrinding. I guess I've already reground this before. I forget what I do on these engines sometimes. But yeah, so that goes in there. The bolt goes into here. This spring and this back plate and the back nut. And that's all what's inside of these, I'll call it an air horn, but that's all it's inside. Just if you're curious to see. And I'll find another part to clean. Anyway, in the last, I don't know, half an hour or so, I've already cleaned up the fuel pump, well, part of the gear, some of the carburetor. I gotta still clean inside the bowl, the other part. But it's kind of disappointing I'm not really finding too much original paint. I was hoping to find more original paint, since I found just a little bit on the hopper, but I don't know, we'll see. Now I gotta take apart the, I believe they called it the Crankcase breather. So take that apart. At least usually always all my engines I take apart. That way I know if there's anything wrong I can fix it. And the old grease just kind of stiff and doesn't move, so may as well get rid of it. And I'll set the camera up and see what this looks like when I take it apart. There we go. It's just a little. Pretty sure there's probably a spring in there. I'll find that. Huh. Well, I'll clean that up and then we'll go for the next thing, which I have no idea yet, but we'll get there.